It's time for Geocache Talk. Whether you are at work, in the car, or wherever you are, we hope you enjoy this show about the great sport of geocaching. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can be part of the adventure tonight in the chat room and participate with others as they watch the show. If you are listening later, please give it a like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app so that you can get all of the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbooks made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
Big thanks to Derek, Baker 6 Clan, for the graphics, and our new patrons, Dromaniacs and Cash Sleuth. And our featured patrons tonight are, I picked Finland and Great Britain. So Miko Put is from Finland, Miko, and of course Yossi the Mad Finn is from Finland, of course. And then Owen and Pauline are in Great Britain also as well, Owen and Pauline. And thank you to all our patrons for keeping the show on the air and keeping the lights on, as they say. So, all right. Well, tonight I got two surprise guests. Well, maybe one is not really a surprise, but he survived the trip. We have Memphis Mafia.
Woo!
Is back.
I just cheered for myself. That's pretty awesome.
That's right. And K Blast, Brian's with us, so glad you're with us, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go. Yep. For a second there, I didn't hear any audio. There you go. You're good. You're good though. We'll get into some of that here in a moment, but first I have a couple items. So let's start with a little of this. We are in the midst of the Cosmic Quest. Started July 22nd, going through September 1st. There are 3 available souvenirs. I think there's actually 4 if you search for the hidden one. I'm spilling beans there. Somebody sent me a note. It's so funny. I get these. What's that? Where you said? Did I miss something?
I got it, but I think we posted that, didn't we? How to find
yeah,
the
we
hidden
did.
one. Yeah, I didn't even know about it before then.
Yeah, I didn't either. Well, I get things from people who are like, "Hey, I know you love spilling beans." It's like, how have I gotten this reputation? I don't know. I'm not
probably mess up and do it again this hour.
Right, probably. But I'm not. That's not. You know, it's rare. It's extremely rare that
if
I would
only there were a song about it. It would be.
If only there was a song. Yeah. Speaking of song, I'm gonna play a little bit of one in a little bit that I had them make I had Chat GC make us a song about tonight. Anyway, so somebody sent me a note. Goes, hey, I know you love to spill beans. So it was I'll look it up in a second. He changed his GC name, so that messes me up. But anyway, I'll pull his email up in a second. But anyway, so yeah, it was cool. You get an extra one. So, how are you guys doing on Cosmic Quest? Have you gone and even looked to see how you're?
Here's
Are
what
you providing the
only
fuel
looked
needed
because of this show tonight? So
Okay.
I'm not negative about souvenirs. I just don't care about them because it's not. You can't do challenges on it. It just doesn't fit into my way of cashing, right? Like I think they're neat.
No,
And every time I get a new
is.
state, I check the souvenir because I'm like, oh, that's cool, or new country. But like,
Yeah.
when there's a promotion or when there's other things, I generally don't check. Having said that, when there's a hidden one, 100% of the time, I'm like going immediately to find it. I don't know why. I guess it's like for the search, like, hey, you got to do this and this, or check this trackable and you get a free hidden souvenir. Those I like. And I immediately go after those. But like the promotions, I don't want to sound bad about it because I like that they're doing promotions. I think they're a really good thing for the geocaching community, right? However, just because of my general style of geocaching, I just get them all. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't even try, and I've almost got this one and I haven't really found that many caches. It's because they make them to where it's like beginner level. Most of us get them just by doing normal daily stuff, right? Like when they have sometimes when they have the ones that's like the goal, couple levels, then sometimes I'll have to go, oh, I'm gonna go out and find a bunch of caches this weekend. But I generally don't track those unless people are talking about it a bunch. And like I looked at this one, I think you have to get 100 points. I haven't looked it up and I had 83 points. So then we've got till next month or something. So I'm assuming I'm going to get this souvenir without really trying. But again, as we've talked about before, HQ has to make it entry level. If it was like, if every one of them was like, find 5,000 caches this month, nobody, like most people wouldn't be able to get it. It wouldn't be it would be just stupid and ridiculous. Or if they were all as hard as the challenge talk, the trails or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Right. You got to be, that's like the extreme is doing that. The extreme that got down there. But I like the souvenirs. I haven't really tracked it. I only know I have 83 points because I was prepping for notes for the show tonight.
Yeah, I went to Geocache, and I'm a completionist too. That's one of the things that I love about myself, but I also struggle with about myself. Like I'll clear out an entire section. Like I have most of Columbus cleared out except for one puzzle cache that I can't solve, and that just drives me bonkers. So when I went up to Geocache, there were probably 200 caches on the fairgrounds between all of the adventure labs and the caches and everything that was going on up there. And I made sure I went to every single one of them and wiped the whole place out because I can't stand looking at one unfinished on the grounds. So I finished all that, got home and saw that I had gotten both souvenirs without even trying. It just happened.
There you go.
The person I was thinking of, he used to go by 614 Buckeye, but he goes now by Jedi Trash Panda. So I'm gotta get used to. I gotta get used to that. I always think of him as 614 Buckeye. So he even said he's
that too.
Yeah, I'm already he's already throw off a couple people. So yeah, Jedi Trash Panda. He sends me. He goes, where did he send me to start with? He goes, let me find. We have multiple conversations, so it's. You didn't hear it from me, but HQ has an unadvertised fourth souvenir. And then he wrote, know you like spilling the beans on the show. Figured this would be something worth sharing. So,
and now you just outed him on the show. So good job.
I just told him thanks. Well,
there's your last bit of secret information from him.
As people said,
the beans on who spilled the beans.
I spilled the beans. Exactly. Eminem from M says it was posted on Instagram. So yeah.
And the labs were posted on Instagram too. So that's a big news item.
Yeah. Yeah. The where you can get one. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-service is whatever they call it. Yeah. Basically you get a new free lab if you've done
lab, which I did.
A few other qualifiers. Yeah.
I sent you that. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll grab another one. Yeah, what the heck?
I picked mine up while I was walking down the street in Alaska because we happen to have service. I was like, I'm not missing out on this. I don't even know what. I mean, I've got tons of ideas for them, but
yeah,
I thought they may cut these off. I'm going to immediately get them. So I jumped on the phone just for that, just like to get 5 new labs and
get you an easy $5 there.
And I've already been getting notifications this week of like, boom, new lab in the area. So people are putting them out too.
KB Quick wanted to tell you. He's not happy with your shirt there, K Blast.
It has to do with what we're talking about tonight. So
we're talking infernal device.
I have one of those myself.
Yeah. So we'll get to that pretty quickly. I just wanted to mention the Cosmic Quest. I thought it was interesting.
Have you checked yours?
Yeah. Well, I did. We did the Garland Geo Tour yesterday. We did
so you're
30. Done. Yeah, we did 38 caches yesterday, which is a lot for our little group because I cache with guys who they want to go geocaching, but they're not like Brian. They're not completists. They're not, because you'll love this will drive you crazy, Brian. We did all but one of the Geo Tour. How would that drive you insane?
Absolutely. I would.
Dude, I don't even always finish labs. I don't even always finish a lab set. I'm like, I can't get to that one time. I'll just move on.
We did all but one. One was
I don't see it on my map. I don't care.
Okay.
I think it was actually right 2. It turned out there was 2 that we didn't do, which is so that maybe that'll help your OCD a little bit, but we had a great time. We got enough points. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Geo Tours, but if you get enough points, then you get, exactly. Steve's right. You get an adventure lab, and you get an adventure lab, and you get an adventure lab. Everybody gets an adventure lab. Look under your seat. There's an adventure lab. Oh yeah. We're gonna get adventure labs here.
We got to get into that soon.
Always check.
Not tonight. That's a whole different show.
Not tonight. Okay. So, and the other thing in the notes is I have to at least mention, without spilling any beans, that we are working on a major.
He can't help himself. There's no reason to mention it yet. No, we're just planning.
I'm just mentioning it without saying.
No reason to mention it yet. It could be a long time before this is even ready for press release. So
that's okay. Everybody, Diane wants me to spill it.
To give Gary credit, it will be huge, but one of our biggest things we've ever done. However, it's nowhere near ready to spill beans yet. So let's just
no. And I have not. All right. So let me play.
It kills you though. I know it kills you.
Let's move on to something.
No, it's very therapeutic of me to say that and then not say anything. So it kind of goes against my nature to do that. I know it burned me up. All right, I want to play a little bit of this. I'm not gonna play the whole song, but I'm gonna play a little bit of it because I think it's kind of funny. Because again, it's interesting. AI. It's called False Points, and it gets to the beginning of our theme for tonight. So here we go.
Okay.
On a sunny morning by the old oak tree, thought I found the answer, thought I found the key, but all its promises, they sank down deep in the river of dreams where our hearts can't keep. You lifted me high like a flag in the breeze, with them favorite points folded like autumn leaves. From love songs to sad songs, the needle sways, trusted wrong answers in a million ways. Don't trust those favorite points, they'll lead you astray. If you feel high, then take it away. Like mirages in deserts with no end in sight, they'll haunt you, deceive you in the dead of night. So red rose.
That's not. It's really scary what AI can do now, and we
does.
Don't go to the rabbit hole. But that was still funny, and it works perfectly for the show we're doing tonight.
As a musician, Brian, what are your thoughts?
I actually was just going to say, after last week's show, I went and I was at a jazz performance yesterday, a big jazz festival with 12 different groups. And I sat and listened to a group, and I'm pretty sure none of them are geocachers, so I'm going to go ahead and call it out. They were not that great. And the leader said, and I just made up this song, and I want to perform it for you. It's called Prison Love. Love Prison, love jail. And he sat and sang this song with his jazz band, and it was so bad. And I leaned over to my buddy next to me, and I said, I bet I could put the words love jail into the AI and make a better song than this was right here.
Yes.
Which is scary, disappointing. As a musician, you want to see things get better because AI is pushing things to be better.
Right.
Yes.
You got to step it up a notch to not be like everything else. But it was, that's my take on it as a musician. I'm impressed with it too, that it pulls off what it does.
And not to get us off the track, right? But I think
like 30 seconds.
As long as you remember, AI is supposed to be an enhancement to and not a replacement for people. It can help us out a lot. But I think we're going to get into that in the future too. But I think that applies to geocaching as well. And there's many things we're going to be able to use AI for geocaching. Totally different topic, but like in the music world, draw the music parallel to geocaching. If you use AI to write the words and even write the music, but then a human's performing them and tweaks it and performs it, that's a great way to enhance, not replace, right? I can turn out a bunch more music and it's rough drafts you're turning out, right? And then you're like, oh, this little part is good. I can make this into a good song. And if you're doing that, I think that's a great way to use it. Just like when we get to the AI geocaching show, if you do it one way, it's great. If you use it this way, not great. And we're going to get there, but not tonight.
I'm so excited to work on the reverse Where I Go country song, or
yeah, we'll get there.
AI is just going to tell you no. You're like, no, have better class than that.
Reverse Where I Goes all over Florida. That's the name. That's going to be the title.
There you go. I'm going to get them all archived, so don't worry about it.
All right, there you go. All right, so a couple notes. Geocaching premium. This is the thing to remember because Jess and I always talk about. I always forget what premium members get. Have you noticed though that premium members, have y'all looked recently on the web page for a geocache? It now puts these green diamonds next to the items that you get because you're a premium member. I like that because I forget.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't noticed that either.
Like on a geocache webpage.
Yeah, if you just go to a web page and pull up a cache, and what you'll see is so if you look at any kind of cache, I just pulled one up under the you got log geocache, view all logs, view gallery, watch, and there's add to list and ignore. And on mine, under add to list or next to add to list and ignore, it has a green diamond. Do y'all have that?
I do.
Mine does not have that. Oh, no. It just showed up. I don't know why it loaded so slowly. Yeah.
It shows that it's a premium
That's pretty
feature.
cool.
Yeah. So the note that I had here was it says in geocaching, premium members earn favorite points for finding geocaches, which gets into the whole thing, which I wrote the books about. I'm not going to pump the books. Just go look out there for books I wrote. Go to Amazon, put my name in, put Gary Slinkard in, and you'll see my books. This is as far as I'm going with the cheesy thing there. But people who are not premium members, that's a whole other show as well, but they can't give a favorite point. We all can. Premium members earn favorite points for finding caches. New members, new premium members. This is something I didn't know either. When you become a premium member for the first time, you start with one. They just give you a freebie, and then you earn one every time you find 10 caches. Favorite points can be used. Can also be used to keep track of favorite finds. We know that by visiting the list tab on the website, members can see a favorites tab that shows every cache that they've given a favorite point to. That's always interesting to look at, but that's not for tonight. Geocachers can also award favorite points to geocaches that provide memorable experiences. Blah, blah, blah. Favorite points make it easy to say thank you to geocache owners. Yes, I agree with all that. But this gets to the rub of why the show is called what it is. And yes, Jen and Brad are correct from all I could tell. And they're two geocachers that are within arm's length that could probably give the other a high five at this point. They're sitting the closest of any other viewers, but the Siren song, sirens in Greek mythology were half woman, half fish, or like a mermaid. And the siren would sing out into the ocean. Then they did. They said, give each other a high five. And they would lure the sailors over. And of course, at that point, they would just knock them off their boats and eat them. So basically, favorite points could be a siren song. We'll get into why. But on the other hand, a favorite point on a geocache could be sort of like a treasure map. So what do you guys think? Which is it? Is it a siren song or is it a treasure map?
Well, before we even get into that, I want to one other thing. You get them for finding every 10 geocaches, including events, but not including labs.
Right.
Labs don't count towards a total of favorite points, correct?
That's what I'm seeing.
That's what I understand too. I didn't know if they, because they're pushing labs so much, I didn't know if they changed anything. So, okay.
No.
Right,
that's interesting though. I'll go ahead.
I'll let K Blast start on this one. I just want to clarify that point for some people, newer listeners or people that hadn't really thought about that part of it yet. So,
well, I had a question too, because I've been a member since I started geocaching. So when you become a member, if you let your membership lapse and then become a member again, is it retroactive? Like, does it go back and say, hey, you found 10 caches while you weren't a member? Do you get a favorite point? Actually,
I would think no.
You found 10 caches while you weren't. So
I wasn't a member, then I became a member.
Wait, you mean premium? Is that what you're saying? Premium or non-premium?
Premium.
Okay, so you're saying you were premium, went back to basic, found 10 caches, and came back to premium. Okay, I would say they probably don't count.
Okay, I don't know. I've never let my membership lapse. So
I'm looking now. Geocaching favorites. It's available only to premium members. Keep going. I'm going to.
So what if you had 1,000 finds as a non-premium member, then got a premium membership? Would you jump in immediately to 100 favorite points?
That's exactly what I was wondering, is if that happens.
I guarantee you somebody knows. Somebody in the chat room probably knows.
Kind of waiting for the chat room to jump in, but maybe we're all members.
I know that I got premium within like the first 7 caches or something. I mean, like I didn't wait very long before I got premium, and I haven't not had it since. So I don't know, and I kind of always forget about the non-premium features, like the stuff they don't get that we get. You know, I've never considered not having my premium membership since I started, however many years ago it was.
Yeah, same here.
It doesn't really address it, but it does say that it's going to give you a favorite point for every 10 geocaches you find as a premium member.
Oh, okay. As a premium member. So just erase all those and relog them is what you're saying. I got it.
Yeah, got it.
Now, here's an idea, just because if the geocaching gods are listening, it kind of would be cool to add, like, every time a cache of yours gets a favorite point, you get a favorite point added to your total too.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because you're adding to the community. Somebody finds yours. It's just like a bonus. That'd be a bonus way to get, to encourage people to hide quality caches, is every time your cache gets a favorite point, you get a favorite point to give out too.
Well, that'd be nice, except for the whole point of this show tonight, which is there are a bunch of caches out there that have a whole lot of favorite points that shouldn't necessarily have that many favorite points. And it's more about how many people have done it and they had a great experience at this place or that place. There are some, like Gary said, sometimes it is a treasure map. I use the treasure map. I go looking for favorite points. I'm actually heading to Canton, Ohio tomorrow, and I went and looked, and I ordered by favorite points to go, all right, are there any caches in this area that I haven't done that I need to make sure that I experience? And sure enough, I started looking at some of the ones with the most favorite points, and of course, all of the virtuals popped up to the very top. Whether they're good or not, the virtual hit the top. And you have to look at it more than just the favorite points.
Absolutely.
I think that's the whole point of what Gary's saying. You got to avoid the sirens.
Yeah.
Those that have all the favorite points and they really aren't that special, honestly.
So, but I would still say, in general, as a general rule, a cache that has a high number of favorite points is probably going to be more special than the cache a mile down the road that has 0.
That is accurate. I would
agree. As a general rule, right? Now, I'm one of the reasons that it's not always a rule, because I use my favorite points however I want to, and it does not fit into the normal convention of this. You may not want to go after everyone I've favored it before, because I may have favored it for a completely different reason. And we'll kind of get into why we use them as favorite points, but I do agree that one of the things you have to look for is favorite points. That's just an easy way to filter an area, right? But that's like, if I'm going to a new area, that's only my first swipe through. Like, I might add a few based on that to my list, but that's only my first swipe. I have a lot of other criteria I go through to find the ones in an area too. That's like phase 1, but I've got probably 4 or 5 phases that I go through. So it is an indicator, but it's not 100% indicator for sure.
Yeah, we were talking before the show about Bump on a Log, which is it's near Mingo, and it drives. If I mention it, it's funny because it drives some cachers off the side of the hill, because I'll go, that's a great cache, and they go, no, it's not a great cache. They go, well, why not? What's wrong with it? It's right next to Mingo, 528 feet from Mingo. So it's like, well, but
I'm going to argue a counterpoint though, Gary, because I found that cache with you.
Yeah.
I found that cache with you. However, so take the Mingo out of it, right? It's that cache, but down the street somewhere, and it's inside a hole, and it's covered. I'm not going to spoil it. 8 million people have already found it, but it's in a telephone pole. It's inside the telephone pole, like drilled in or whatever, and it's got a little thing that goes down in front of it, right? It's not laying on the ground. It's not under a bush. You might still give that a favorite point if you found that during a day when nobody else has done any creativity, right? That might still get a favorite point. Hey, at least they kind of covered it up. It could trick you a little bit if you weren't paying much attention, especially if it was on like anywhere near a power trail, because it's not a power trail style. So you can see how that cache could earn 3, 4, 5 favorite points, right? If it's in a city, it's in a town.
Yeah.
However, the reason why it has so many, let's say the percentage is low, a crap ton of people find that cache.
I'm looking it up now because I
don't know what the percentage is, but I bet the percentage is not as high as you think it is.
I'm sure the percentage is not that high, although I can't remember whether I favorited it. I know I found it. I know I went there and got it, and now that I'm sitting here and I can't remember it that well, I'm thinking about going back and revoking my favorite point if I already gave it one.
No,
I think it's
don't do that.
It's not a Mingo, but it's not a basic cache either. It is hidden. You know what I mean? And it's hidden a little different. We get jaded also.
What do you think of the one that
3 of us have found thousands of caches, right? So,
there's the one. Maybe that's a bad example, but there's the one that's right down the road from Mingo that we've probably all found. It starts down that country road, and it is like, oh gosh, I have to find the name of it. Let me find.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. Bump on a Log's across the street, right?
Yeah, Bump on a Log's across the street.
The one on the country road right down the street, that's the one that's in the side of the telephone pole, and it's covered with a little metal thing. That's right. I got the switch.
No, you're fine. Yeah, that's the one down the street.
Had a few little characters and stuff on it, didn't it?
Which again, still, that's a favorite point. If you found that around town, divorce it from Mingo, you'd be like, oh, they went to some effort. To me, a favorite point means this person went to more effort than the 99 previous ones where nobody went to any effort. They just did the minimum you could to put a cash out, right? That kind of deal, you know.
There's a bug on the bump. There's a bug on the bump on the log is the name of the cache. I'm sorry. I shortened
That one,
it.
yeah.
It is GC4K4QN.
That's the one I thought was cute. I was trying to figure out what Jesse was talking about with a hole in a pole. I do remember the one you're talking about, and I was like,
it's the other one the other way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel better about that. I mean, there's some great ones around Mingo. I love the one that has the interactive. It's like a gadget cache right there. There's one that's it's fantastic.
The little Geo store, which is right there.
So I bet y'all are both guilty of this one, and I know it's going to take us off topic, but it's on topic, just like it's a side road. So tell me if you're not guilty of favorite in one because it wasn't special, wasn't a special location, but it was extremely convenient for you. That's the question. And here's where I'll say you're a liar if you don't answer it right, because we all favor the ones in the airports because they are extremely convenient to us. And at least I do. If I'm going through, there's a virtual airport and it's just like a layover, and I'm like, thank goodness there's a cashier. I just bloop, 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 get my little virtual. I'm putting that Joker favorite point because I know what it did. I know what it takes to get one in the airport. And that one is done with like the pure convenience factor for cashier flying through. And that's just like a front porch cache to me. If somebody's going to do that kind of effort, it gets a favorite point. Unless it's horrible, you know, how do you not appreciate the fact that you got one inside an airport as you're flying through?
Yeah, I would.
To me, that's just
give
awesome.
it a favorite point.
And I think most people that have found those do give them a favorite point, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Peachy says, bump on a log is kind of cute.
Yes, I think it is. I was confusing it with the other one. Heck, I was even defending the other one anyway. So of course that one's better than the other one. So
yeah, so I gave it I'm showing it on the screen for audio listeners. It's a PVC pipe. It's got bugs attached to it. Basically,
that's not what I remember finding a few years back when I found it.
The bump on a log. It's across the street.
Yeah, I'm saying it was like that, but it actually looked. See, maybe my head is messed up, but I thought it was a brown log with like pretty little characters on it. It
may have been different over the years. Remember that too.
It might have changed. Oh yeah, you know what? You know what? That's what it was a year before. Here is the one I'm showing now is probably the more recent picture. That does that one look more like what you're looking for?
It's brown with bugs on top of it. Yeah.
And I think that's actually one of the points you were making on this is sometimes something gets a whole lot of favorite points because it was awesome at one time, and now
we'll get it. Yeah,
did a throwdown or whatever. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
most definitely.
That is such a pet peeve of mine. Like,
yes,
I don't like to judge anything because I don't know everybody's situation, right? But when a cache starts off awesome and you go to it only because it has a bunch of favorite points, and you get there, and you know, because I try not to read the description and all that other stuff, the logs before I get there, unless I need a spoiler, right? Or unless it's like weather issue or whatever else. But you find out that it used to be this great, awesome cache, and it got stolen. So now the owner just keeps like a pill bottle there.
Right.
You got suckered. You got siren songed into that Joker. And
I did.
I don't be mad about it because I've been on the other side where, a cache owner I've been the cache owner where something gets messed up and you can't put the kind of container that originally started. You may have already got some favorite points, but what do? Archive it or leave it out there for people to find in at least some version, right? So I understand how that happens, but it sucks when you're on the other end of it.
Do you want to guess at how many favorite points it has?
I'm going to say 732.
I was going to say in the 500s, like 570.
Now, and I want to get into another reason why it may have favorite points because of the owner, but there's a bug on the bump on the log has 1,431 favorite points.
Jesse's closer.
Yeah, not by much, man. That's a lot.
1,400, and it's been out since 2013. Now, Adi put it out there. So, and Adi has caches across the street. He has gadget caches in the area.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. So I'm wondering, let me ask you guys this.
There's a big range there. But go ahead. And I got a caveat already, but go ahead with your
okay. This may not be a factor, but being as famous as Adi is for his incredible caches, I'm sure, Brian, you've done some of Adi's caches before. Okay. His caches are so awesome that are you ever tempted by the Siren song to either find an Adi cache, not knowing what you're going for, whether you're going to bring a 9-volt and find this wild, incredible gadget cache, but when you didn't find it, you still give it a favorite point because it's Adi? Or do you find it, then know that it was Adi's, and then you go, oh, I'll give him a favorite point because he always does great caches?
So let me expand your question. You're asking, do you base favorite points on the owners ever?
Right.
And I was comparing that up in our area. We got WV Tim, who's up here, and that's a good example of somebody that I've been out to his area 10 times because I'm a completionist. I want to do every last one of his, and I want to complete the Geo Tour, and I want to do all this stuff. And there are a few of his that I've gone to, and it was just, Tim, you could have done better here, buddy. I've seen better. But then I think, it's Tim though, and he's done so many awesome things. I wanna, and look at it. It already has 70 favorite points. Why am I the one that's going to keep it from getting 71? You know,
that's another argument, though. Yeah. No. So
So even those ones that you're seeing that are not special, but they are his, they're still probably better than 1 in 10 caches that you find.
But do you get a favorite point just because it's
hold
better
on now.
than the
favorite
LPC?
Point is not awesome. It's the top 10%. That's what favorite points are, right? If you really look at it, you get 1 in every 10. Is that the best out of the last 10 that you found? So top 10% and awesome, like the shirt that you're wearing. You can't set that as the bar for favorite points, or we would never spend any favorite points.
Some people don't.
The favorite point bar just needs to be somewhere between 1 in 10 and awesome. If you have it way up here, you're never going to, because there's not that many that are awesome caches. There's a lot of really cool caches, but there's not a lot of epic caches. If you wait for epic, so was it better than the other 9 that you had found probably before that? Probably so, comparing it to that. But, awesome and like, hey, they did some pretty good effort. That's 2 different bars. So I guess it depends on where you set your bar, right?
Well, and you also run into the situation where when you've seen it so many times, that fake bolt was really, really cool the first time you found it.
Yeah.
And then, and I probably favorited the first fake bolt that I found. Mm-hmm. Well, now that I've found about 20 fake bolts, I'm not favoriting them quite as often. It's hit and miss on that. And so my experience has changed.
Yeah. It jades you a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, you can't compare with all the cache out there. You got to think about the caches you actually find. Now, your area is different than mine. Gary's different than mine too. But I don't think that 1 out of 10 caches make me say, wow.
No.
1 out of 20? Maybe. Yeah. But it's got to at least make me go, they did more. And I know we'll probably bust me out anyway, but I don't give out a lot of favorite points like I should. But my standard is a lot lower. A bolt, something that you can commercially buy and put on, that really is probably not going to get favorite points. When they put some extra effort into it, that's when I do it.
So I'm going to throw you guys a couple other scenarios.
Oh, dear.
So yesterday, the Motley Caching crew, the group I cache with, we did the Garland Geo Tour. Opportunistically, we did it knowing that Garland was about to basically wipe it out and do a whole new tour. Now they might keep some of them, but maybe not. But the cool thing is that it's not far from where we live. It's a pretty cool geo tour. mean, we had a great time. I think the Geo Tour in itself was well done. Here's the problem, though. We did 38 of the 40. I know it's driving Brian crazy, but
Love it. That's my kind of
one of them was unfortunately named almost identical to the other one, and we just sort of missed it. The other was this really complicated multi-stage, and we just ran out of time. It was time for barbecue. So, and Cache Masters.
That's right.
That's important.
It's important.
Wait, there we go. Shameless plug. Boom.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Cache
You're
Masters.
welcome.
Exactly. Thank you. It'll destroy your geocaching friendships, but in a good way. A number of geocaches on the tour have favorite points. One cache that we all agreed as a group, we had one guy who had COVID, so he couldn't go. So there's 4 of us. Normally there's 5. We all agreed that cache. In fact, I think all of us gave this one cache a favorite point because of the way it was hidden. Mm-hmm. It was a hidden in plain sight, ingenious.
Love those.
The way they did it was just like they went to all the extra trouble. We flat out got lucky. We knew we're all standing staring at it going, I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, I don't know what to do. And somebody reached down and moved it, and it moved. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I mean, we're all staring at it. 3 of the 4, one guy was off hunting and who knows where.
That shouldn't even be close. That obviously deserves a favorite point.
That should get a favorite point because it's just and when you take it out and you really examine it, it was like, oh my gosh, just ingenious. The rest of them, a couple of LPCs. I mean, even LPCs were getting favorite points, and there was nothing.
There's a whole different story about an LPC being on a Geo Tour, but let's table that for a little while. I can't even touch that right now.
Are people giving these caches favorite points because they're high on Geo Tour fever? Do they have a Geo Tour fever and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna fling favorite points out the window because, oh my God, we're doing a Geo Tour and we get a coin at the end and, oh my God, here, take my favorite points. Just take them. I don't care.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Let's say that they're doing it more than they normally would, but they really like Geo Tours. In the traditional sense of this is a Siren, it's drawing people to a Geo Tour. So that kind of fits. They enjoy doing Geo Tours. They think other people would really enjoy doing Geo Tours. So they're papering the whole Geo Tour with favorite points. So when people look at the area, they'll go, oh, I need to do all these caches. I think in that sense, that's probably a proper use of it. Now, in the other sense, I don't.
That's
now you're spoiling this joker like crazy.
Well, it's about to be gone. So.
Oh yeah, then there you go.
I mean, they're about to completely wipe it out and start over. So
that's
anyway,
cool.
Well done.
So
go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry.
Now, if the individual cache is not great, you probably shouldn't favorite it. However, I can see favorite in the Geo Tour, the whole Geo Tour. If you enjoy doing the Geo Tour, and people that really do, it's kind of the reverse of when you do like a power trail and you give a favorite point to the very first one on the trail because you're not going to award one for the other 500, or whatever.
Like ET Highway number 1.
Kind of the reverse of that, right? So yeah, like what we all do that, or like the star. You don't, the 50 state stars. You do the final. Everybody would give favorite point to the final, and the other ones you wouldn't give any favorite points to. But I just think it's how you look at it, right? Because I don't even do it to draw somebody to that cache always. I may do it by the experience of the day, which it can be a whole other thing, right? The cache can be pretty plain, but the experience of the day or the group that I went with, I had a fun time there, and I'll favorite it kind of just for me. Made me happy, so I'll throw one out.
Aren't you then leaving, though, false treasure trails?
Only if you do it like that. I don't do mine to draw other people to caches.
But I'm going to look at that and go, oh, I have time.
Sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
I don't
do it for you. I do it for me.
You're the one causing problems.
Hey, everything I do in geocaching, and I don't care if it makes you sound bad or not, I don't do it for others. I do it for how I want to play the game.
You are causing
Yeah, good.
problems.
Maybe use favorite points is only one thing to look for. You got to look better than that, buddy.
Professor Nick asked a question that it actually goes along with this for me. When I went down to Oklahoma, I went through and I was watching the Puzzle Cache talk, and they were talking about Cache Sleuth. And so I went through and did a whole bunch of his puzzles, and they were fantastic puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
right.
So I'm like, if I did these puzzles, I'm a completionist. I'm going to go check them all off. So I went around and found them all. And like Casher Nick said, what about a great puzzle that leads you to a skirt lifter? That's exactly what happened quite a few times with this. And in the end, I did give it a favorite point because to me, that puzzle was worth the favorite. Now, the skirt lifter was a skirt lifter, but the puzzle and the fun that I had doing the cache, it was a whole series of caches. So that kind of goes to your Geo Trail. Right. I enjoyed the series immensely, and so I wanted to give him all the favorite points for that. And honestly, I gave out tons of favorite points in Oklahoma that I had saved up because I was doing a bunch of okay caches around me to kind of build them up. So
you're also the problem. You're the problem too, Brian, because you're giving favorite points because you're on holiday and you're out just roaming the countryside,
don't have the favorite points,
eating greasy food and just laughing it up, just winging it around. Get your guitar out and you're just life's a highway. You're just going along.
Now, are you saying Cache Sleuth's caches are not that great? Is that what I just heard you say?
No, they are incredible.
In here.
First of all, Cache Sleuths are awesome. I'm so happy you got to use one of those. I feel like
they are incredible.
But here's the thing, though.
Go ahead.
His didn't violate it because, in my opinion, cache page, the cache itself, like the actual physical cache, I better not count like that. I'm going to mess that one up. But the location and total experience, four different parts that any of those parts make me say, that's cool. Probably better than the last 25 I found. Favorite point. You don't have to get all four of those because that's epic, right? Yeah. But it's if you get any of those four right, I think that meets the threshold because it can be just a cool. There's a few cachers out there that actually put a lot of effort into the web page. Like it's not your basic web page. When you see it, you're like, man, it looks like it's a mega. Like it's got fancy,
Yeah.
To me, the cache and the location after that can be average. That's still probably getting a favorite point because one of those elements was just outstanding. Right. And I think you have to look at all of that, take all of that into account, even on the traditional. If you follow the regular convention, you take those things into account. Now, again, I don't. Like somebody said, here's a good one to sum it up for me.
Oh, from Jen?
Yeah. So she uses it like on a social media post, thumbs up, thumbs down, that kind of deal. Like anything about it, boom, favorite point.
Yeah. So for audio listeners, Jen says, my favorite points are based on my experience, like dropping a thumbs up on a social media post. The other thing,
going along with that, I know some caches around here that give favorite points because they got first to find.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that. Doesn't matter what kind of garbage cache it was. It's just I got it first, so it's one of my favorites. And that may or may not be. That's a Siren song. That right there is the passing out favorite points. For
it is, but that's only 1 point. Only one person will get FTF on that cache, so that's not going to pile them up.
No, but there's one we talked about earlier that Brian mentioned, and this is the one that really grinds my gears, and that is, and this becomes a problem, and that is like the story, The Emperor's New Clothes, where all the people are saying, oh, this is great because it's the Emperor. They've got to say this is great. These clothes he's wearing are incredible. He just in his skivvies. I mean, that's, finally somebody goes, these aren't great clothes. He's just wearing underwear, man. This ain't no good. So giving a favorite point, you should base your favorite points, and I know Jesse would do this. You base the favorite points on whatever you think you should be doing, not what other people think you should be doing.
Right. Yeah. No, like you're saying, like either it's a famous cache owner and you're like, oh, cool, I found one of that guy's caches. However, you may want to favorite it because you think it's really cool to do. Or if you get to a cache and it's got like, we've all done this. You get to a cache, it's got like 130 something favorite points on it, and it's just like absolutely average. And you're not understanding. And you're like,
right.
Did I missed something? Am I doing something wrong here? Am I missing the puzzle?
But I'm not going to give one because it has 130 or 300.
I'm not either, but I think
1,000.
people get caught up in the excitement of a bunch of favorite points and they end up favorite. They've got favorite point on their brain. When they search
Peer
one of
pressure.
5 favorites, they've got favorite point on the brain. They're like, this has got to be cool.
They got peer pressure.
You know, I don't know, but I don't do that.
I'm going to call myself out right now. So that way I don't have to make anybody else angry. I'm going to call out.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is 100% on me. When we did that challenge a little while ago to hide a non-traditional cache.
Right.
And 4 people found my cache. And unfortunately, there were 4 people who had found my more epic cache that I had kind of borrowed from.
Right.
So they went, oh, it's the same old thing. So none of them favorited it.
Oh, no.
And I knew that we were supposed to get favorite points in order to win the contest. So, yeah, I went and wrote all 4 of them.
Oh my gosh!
I sent them. I said I'm calling myself out. I
Oh
sent
my.
all 4 of them a message. I said, "Remember, I am in a contest."
Oh my gosh, K-Blast!
I would love
zero problem with this. I have zero problem with
it. Let me finish.
1,000% problem.
I would love the favorite points if, as you look back on it, you go, that was a fun puzzle that I really enjoyed solving.
No, I can't believe
I want you to rethink and go, if it were the first time, would you have enjoyed it? And all 4 of them favorited it after I sent them a message.
Of course they did.
I told them all.
You coerced them.
I don't mind if you don't favorite it. It won't hurt. But I know that some of them are my good friends. And so,
even worse.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh gosh.
Because I wanted to win, and that's.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it.
I know I'm a horrible.
No, you are not, because I've seen people put it on their cache page.
You are horrible.
Feel free to. We put a lot of effort into this, so feel free to give us a favorite point if you want. I've seen that on a cache page where it's part of the description. I have no problem with that at all. That's zero problem with it. You can ask for all you want. You can give how you want. You know, it's why could you not do that?
I don't know. I felt kind of dirty doing that. It's the only time
I'm sure you did.
Because I can't stand. Actually, there are caches. My mafia persuasion, yeah, absolutely.
Because you were Al Capone, so
I was. But there are caches that I go and do them, and they are awesome, and I love it. And then I read that line at the bottom, and I second guess. I think about it a little bit harder, and I go, maybe I don't want to give it a favorite point just because they put that line down there at the bottom.
Too needy, right? Like a little too needy for it.
What Just Finding Our Way says.
But if it was still a good cache, I'll still give it to
Never leave
them.
a favorite to beggars. Go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
No, I wouldn't give them a favorite point just because they asked for it. But I kind of like every once in a while when they do that for me, because I'm like, oh, yeah, because I'm terrible about remembering to give my favorite points. I frequently have to go to Project GC, and I'm like, the Forgotten Favorites tab. I'm like, oh, my God, I didn't favorite that one. And I'll have to go back, hit a favorite point. Because I'll even put it in my log a lot of times. But a lot of times I'll do it where you like save it for later and then you send it. And somewhere in there, I'm losing that favorite point one. So it reminds me to go, oh, I did like this cache.
I had a case like that too, where 11 people had found a cache that I put a ton of effort into. I mean, I worked my tail off to make it something special, different than anything I'd ever seen. Yeah. And 9 people favorited it, and one of my good friends didn't. And that really bugged me. I was like, what did I need to do to earn that favorite point? And it turned out that they were like you. They just forgot.
Yeah.
So should I have gone to them? I never went and said it. Like, I never asked them, why didn't you favorite this? Like I said, I don't like that kind of thing, but it was just a weird frustration for me seeing, 90% favorite because my buddy didn't favorite this thing that I knew they liked. They even told me, they even wrote in the log, this is a really awesome cache. I can't believe how cool this was. And I'm like, why didn't you click the little heart?
Why are people not giving Infernal Device a favorite point?
Now that's, you got to be out of them, or you just don't give favorite points.
Now I have run out, but in that case, I would have gone back and found. I would have grabbed. There's plenty because I give out, and which is the funny part is I give
So you have
about
0 favorite points to give out
until I run out. I mean,
You're out of them.
I have 4 right now. How many of y'all have right now? I've got 4 because I got a bunch of caches yesterday. So
I know.
I gave out
just
caches.
looked it up. I've got 471.
How many?
Holy cow!
471
There's the problem.
favorite points that you haven't given out.
Yes, that is correct.
What the flip is going on?
And I feel like I give out a decent amount of favorite points.
You have got to give out more favorite points. You've got to.
I do, but I do. So I go back every once in a while. Like again, I go to Prodigy C and go to that forgotten favorite points. I've probably awarded more favorite points from that tab than I have the original cache.
I've done that a few times.
I forget somewhere in translation when I'm writing a log or whatever, I forget to mark it with a favorite point, even though I might even write in the log like this is definitely deserving of a favorite point, and then I forget to hit the little thing. So if I didn't have Prodigy C, I would have way more favorite points than that.
So Infernal Device is at 89%. You probably didn't even give it a favorite point. If you got that many favorite points,
I didn't. So
yeah, I figured
I didn't, and I only went back and did that off of that forgotten favorite tab. Like, how did I forget to give that one a favorite point?
Oh my god, dude!
Now there are some caches that came out before favorite points existed, and I wonder if that's the case with some of them. I don't know when did Infernal Device, because
no, it's not that old.
Infernal Device first published in 2017.
Yeah,
April 27th, 2017.
Yeah.
So
that's not favorite points. Okay.
That's a good question. Is when we'd have to go figure it out when did favorite points first come out, but
it was pretty early.
Yeah. So Josh is in tonight. Geocache vlogger. He says he has no favorite points left. Yeah, I'm like Josh. All mine are mine are all pretty much gone. I've got 4, but
December 21st, 2010.
Wow. And Marcellus Achman Ra himself says he has more spare favorites than Jesse.
See, boom, get off my back.
Oh my god. Oh my god. TKD Scouter, I have 751 favorite points. Does that mean you have 751 to give out and he hasn't given them out? Or is that total?
I can't remember where to find how many favorite points I have. Where is that?
Usually it shows
on your dashboard.
If you look on, yeah, you can look on. I think the quickest way I think is to look on. Oh, he's given out 400. And he has 751 to go. Holy moly!
In fairness, though, would you think 1 in 10 caches you find is worth favoriting? Well,
so the hard part of this is I do things like I go to Oklahoma and I specifically go to caches that I know are going to be pretty awesome. I find the ones, and so I tend, I'll build up a few around the area, but then I go looking for places that have awesome experiences behind them. So I think that's part of why I don't have as many stored up favorite points, because I go specifically to places that I expect to favorite the cache.
I think a lot of mine, though, again, the way you cache, right, is different. I usually don't find a ton of caches during the year. I really go for just what I want, favorites and high favorites, stuff like that. I don't get tons of numbers. One time every year, I do a road trip where we usually hit a big numbers trip where we'll hit power trails, or we'll hit the one I went on recently. We did 95 counties and we got 10 states. We just jam through.
And those are not getting
out of that. I get, an extra 100 favorite points or so every time. So every time we do one of those. So over the years, if I have one of those each year, outside of my normal way of caching, I'm constantly stacking favorite points because none of those are general. Like a power trail of 400 caches.
Yeah,
it's getting 0. It may get 1 favorite point out of it, right? So I'm stacking up. That's because of just how I cache, but I stack up favorite points like that. But then if I go to the next 20 caches and they're all awesome, I can easily favorite every one of those.
I think I'm more like Joshua, geocaching vlogger, as far as I'm finding, for the most part, I'm finding caches that have a lot of favorite points. Just the way we go. So I'm divvying out a lot of favorite points because the caches I'm finding are not what you're talking about, Jesse, which was there's times when you're just going for volume. I need to find a ton because I'm trying to do something, and so there's a factor there. This one, I don't know what to do with Marcellus. I really don't.
But he's found a lot of caches and has gone like county. When he goes to county, he's a county cacher. So think about
county cacher. Yeah.
When you do county caching, you're not going for the oldest in the area. You're going for the one that's in the rest stop. So he picks up a lot of ones that he can't just give out favorite points on, right?
No, you're right.
When you're humping counties like that, you're getting I don't even want to get off to pee. I'm going to get off the visitor center and
let alone give it a favorite. Yeah. No, I'm with
None of those are usually favorite points. They could be, but most of those aren't going to be. It's going to be the easiest one on the line to get to the next county.
Yeah. Well, and if he were to use those favorite points like that, he would be one of the Sirens.
That's right.
Good point.
So I would rather he store up 710 favorite points and not draw people to garbage.
Right.
Not garbage. Sorry, let me rephrase. To stuff that's adequate.
Now, it's okay to say garbage because some of them are straight garbage. Some of them are literally garbage.
So what you're saying,
not even figuratively, right? So most caches are like kind of average cache,
So you're besmirching my good friend by saying that he needs to up his geocaching game because he's not finding
No, he caches like me. What are you talking about?
Not finding good caches.
I agree with it. Hey, 51 weeks out of the year, I go after just whatever I want to go after, high favorites or some challenge or something. And 1 week out of the year, I just go after boom, knock a bunch out.
All right.
One thing that I wanted to bring up that from what you were talking about, depending on the cache owner, and this is a tangent that's for another show. And I'm just throwing it out there because, hey, I happen to be the guy that's on the screen right now.
Yes.
There's a big thing right now about Adventure Labs and how you ended up in the top 90% to get your free Adventure Lab. I don't know if you guys have seen the discussions about other countries and the way that they rate Adventure Labs. And I know for me, when Adventure Labs first came out and I went and I grabbed them and I was like, sweet, this is awesome. And then it gets to the end and says, how many stars are you going to give this? I went, this is my good friend who I cache with all the time. And they know I'm the only one that's found it. If I don't put 5 stars on this, they're going to hate me.
You're a big jerk.
I'm a big jerk. Exactly. Yeah. So I really feel like that is what happened in America. And if you guys start searching this out, you'll find out that in Europe, average is a 3 or a 4. And 5 is for an awesome adventure lab, which, by the way, I would love that if we could make that a thing in America, but it's not. And so there's a whole bunch of Europeans that are really angry about how Groundspeak gave out this new batch of adventure labs.
Right.
Because they can't do anything to make it better. So the whole point that I'm getting at is it's the same thing with favorite points. Your friend that you went to, you did their cache. I have to sometimes stop and think, how much is this person going to get angry with me? if I don't put my favorite point on their cache that they have, a high percentage or whatever, and dealing with the drama that happens in geocaching periodically.
So there's something to be said for that. So tonight I'm just doing the counterpoints for you because I agree with you and disagree with you a little bit, right? Because I play just all crazy.
Yeah.
I will favorite my friends' caches when I go generally. One, because I know most of them are putting in decent caches. Now, if they did a trash cache, I wouldn't do it. But there's a reason, and the kind of the general reason behind that is I'm rewarding that hider because I want that hider to hide more caches in my area. So I'm talking about like locally. So in a sense, I want them to have favorite points. One, it bolsters them to go and hide more caches and enjoy that. But also, the higher favorite points in my area, then it's drawing more people to my area. So that may be kind of a selfish way to think about it, but at the same time, I'm almost always going to tend to favorite a friend's cache. Like a really close friend's cache. However, if they have one that's trash, I'm probably going to wear them out 10 times worse. So in fairness, I'm not just going to go, I love it. It's great. I love that pill bottle under the bush that you didn't even take the medication label off of. But no, I'm not doing that. But so I think it's okay to do your friends. You shouldn't do it because you feel like they're going to be angry at you. But if you're doing it because you're like, I like when they put out caches, I want to encourage them to put out more caches. Just like I do when I get a brand new cacher and I've got like their first cache they've ever hid. And you look at the description, you can tell it's like a 12-year-old and it's not total trash. I'll put a favorite one on there just so they're like, oh, this is cool. I should stay in the game and learn more or whatever. And write them up a big note. I'll spend that extra time and the favorite point because it's their first cache. To them, it was something awesome, right? The first cache they put out, they're a kid. I want to reward them and have them dig deep and start putting out more caches and become a permanent cacher. So that's a total weird way to use favorite points. And it may throw people off, but I'm okay with that because I used it for a reason.
I'm so disgusted right now. I can't even talk.
Hey, look. Just because you're just blindly following favorite points doesn't mean the rest of us have to.
I am beside myself with you two guys. I'm just can't believe what I'm hearing. And Marcellus is like, impress me in all award. Oh my God. What if he's got that many? I mean, he wants Infernal Device on every corner. I think.
Did Marcellus do Infernal Device while he was in Oklahoma?
That's a good question. I didn't get.
If that was impressive for him. If
I didn't get to ask him, but I should have. But
he didn't favorite it either. So now I have favored it now. Just to be clear, I always did intend to, and it is currently favorited. But I forgot to do it, and Project GC reminded me. That's the only way. So I would have totally forgotten. Yeah, he did.
Okay, he did do it.
Yep, KB Quick says, yeah.
I was going to say, KB Quick's on the chat. We probably shouldn't call Marcellus out right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's okay with it.
But the thing is, too, like when you talk about that cache, and still 10% of the people didn't favorite it. There's no rhyme or reason to that. You know what I mean? There's no such. There's just.
I would be interested to know why. I understand the why on other caches. But why would you not, other than the fact that you ran out? And if you ran out, I don't know, here's a service announcement for everybody who may not know this, but you can go back and you can remove a favorite point from a cache and put it back in your bank of favorite points. Watch all my caches get favorite points pulled from. I don't care. So if you need one, so that's not an excuse. You do Infernal Device and you don't give a favorite point, there's something wrong with your brain. You shouldn't, I don't know how to talk to you if you're not giving a favorite point.
Yeah. But you bring up a point that's actually a point of contention among my friends, and I go both ways on this, so I actually don't know how I feel about this. Is going back and removing favorite points from caches that have been archived. Even though they were fantastic caches. So I went back and looked recently. Yeah, 50% of the caches that I have favorited have been archived. So if I go through and I remove all of those favorite points, and I'm not advocating this, by the way.
Sure.
I'm saying if I go through and I remove all those favorite points, now I have twice as many favorite points as I had. I have this great pile of favorite points now. And am I really honoring these great caches that I have found? Because while all of those favorited caches have been archived, so have all the crappy caches. So now my percentage is changing from 10% to a higher percentage. So that's just that's a point of discussion about this too.
So let me add one wrinkle to that. And Eminem from M says he takes all his favorite points back from archived caches. Well, if the favorite point is supposed to be drawing people to the cache, you can't draw people to an archived cache.
Right.
So I get the argument there, right? But and let's say that you're like, yes, but, and I'll even argue with myself on this one. So yes, but the owner had an awesome cache out there, and let's say it was time to archive it because the landscape changed or somebody sold the property.
Right.
Now,
or you kind of put a new one out,
kicking them in the face. Well, yeah, kicking them in the face as like he's got 100 favorite points on it, and he's like, cool, that was a good cache. It was worth maintaining. But then next week he has 75 favorite points on it, and it's going down to 0. Like, I had an awesome cache, and now I have nothing to show for it. But
that is true.
Wrinkle again. And I know we're gonna run out on this one, but wrinkle again. Now, let's say the cache is archived, and you go, I don't want to penalize the owner, but now the owner's out of the game. Is there any reason to keep that favorite point on there?
No, because you
know what I mean? I mean, messes up data possibly. If you're finding challenges with, I found these caches that had this many favorite points, but now it doesn't because it went down. Doesn't mess up challenges. You can keep going back and forth on that topic all day long, really.
Because if you will get notified if you're an active owner, and because I had a fun time with Joshua, geocaching vlogger, because he took back a favorite point on one of mine. It was an archived cache, so, and I was like, I couldn't resist the moment to bust him on it and go, what? Do you not like me anymore? Well, what's going on? He goes, no. It's the cache is archived, so I needed a fair point to give it on something. Well, yeah, but
so there is that thing to consider.
That's not nice, Josh. You're breaking his heart.
What did I do wrong? What was it? What did I? What happened? Yeah. Oh, there you go. Seabiscuit.
I'm not alone. See, she forgot to and had to go back and do it.
Is it up to 90% now?
Well, I'll take a look. Probably not. Just with a couple people. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we're starting to get to the end. So
look at this. So we don't even have time to get into this, but I bet we could pull up. Does it change the most favorited cache that I have found?
See, that's possible.
Yeah. Now I heard before that.
Yes, it went up.
Somebody hopefully can tell me this is true, that if you put a favorite on a cache and then you take it back off, and let's say, Gary, I favorited your cache. And that gets you now have 1,000 favorite points on all your caches.
Right.
I've heard somewhere that if you if I pulled my favorite point back off after you archived it, you don't go down to 999 favorite points. That number never goes down.
Never changes. Okay.
Like if somebody pulled a favorite point off, that your total doesn't change. But I have an experiment of that to test it out. Maybe we'll have to do that one day. We can favorite and unfavorite caches and see what happens.
That'd be a good show.
But I was told it doesn't drop your total favorite points.
Right. So, Brian, you are correct. Infernal Device did go up in the last few minutes. It went from 89% to 90%.
Our show matters. Our show matters.
Yes.
So, something that you should totally not do, but I'm curious if you can do. Does it show who did not favorite the cache?
It does. No, it doesn't.
Does it show who did favorite the cache?
I don't know if Project GC has something like that. I'm talking
about on geocaching.com.
That's where I found that. That's how I found out that my friend hadn't favorited my cache, because I could see all the people who did, and there was only one who had.
Yeah, you can. That you can.
That's going to take you a while.
But you could, but you own it, so you can see who favorited the one that you own. But I'm wondering if you can do it for somebody else. Like, probably. I would love to this email goes out to this person that we can't find. somebody that found Infernal Device and did not give it a favorite point, please email us. We want to interview you.
Yes.
Like,
And we'll be kind.
No, we
As
won't.
kind as we can.
I will.
no, I be very kind. I would love to know, like, one, do they just have a different way of awarding favorite points? Or two, where the heck do they cache that they've given out all their favorite points and don't have one to give to that? So,
Right.
and somebody may just say, I don't favorite this kind of caches or that kind of caches. Who knows? Everybody has their own. I don't favorite caches that weren't my FTFs or whatever. But I'm just curious. 10% of the people have a weird threshold for favorite points if they don't give it to that cache. So you can't go. This is your average cache. Whether you get too scared or not, you can't go. They put in some effort, but not enough for a favorite point. That's not a thing.
It has 631 finds. So you're talking about 63 people.
Maybe, yeah. Probably less because you're going to have some non-premiums in there too. But
right. But approximately, let's just say conservatively, there's 50 people out there that didn't give it a favorite point. Who found the cache, which is not, as you know, Brian, is not an easy necessarily thing to say. I can see, how about this? And we got to wrap up. Let's say that people struggled and when you struggle,
wow. Click on what KBK Wick just wrote
in the very beginning. Because I would not give up the ultimate. Yeah, see, that's not right. Because So for those that don't know, Infernal Device, we'll call it 1.0. It was just called Infernal Device at the time. Had a ultimate hide within it, and people would find the cache. They would log it, and then they would take the next hour, 2 hours, searching for this extra logbook to sign.
Mm-hmm.
And now since then, he's taken that out. So now he does have other hidden things within Infernal Device, but I'm not getting into that because I'm not spilling any beans.
Yeah.
But there are other things.
Yeah.
But I think that is wrong just because because you don't find a bonus on an incredible geocache, you're going to then withhold a favorite point?
Right.
Yeah, he knows. I spent 3 hours one night in Oklahoma looking for those other things.
Right.
My son and I went back out there and were there for 3 hours to the point that he said, you know what, I'm going to go to bed.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But I can't imagine looking and going, I didn't find everything and he didn't give it up. So I'm not going to give it a favorite point now. That's
wrong.
Think that way. That doesn't even make any sense. I would be angry if he told me and he didn't tell. Like to me, that's unfair to just go telling somebody that puts into question his integrity as a person.
So that's what Jim was saying. What you guys were saying earlier, that FTFs get automatic.
Yeah. After all, it is one of my favorites now. Well, then, that makes sense, right? If there's a reason for you to market. Now, obviously, when it comes down to the whole thing, use your favorite. I'm 100% behind. Use your favorite points however you want to do it. Just like somebody said here, favorite points are just like general caching. You and I can have two different opinions, and I want everybody to be able to do whatever they want to do when it comes to caching. You play the game however you want to play the game. You may find something awesome that I find stupid, and that's perfectly okay. We all know what those things are. But anyway, let's move on. But favorite points are the same way. Do it however you want to do it, right? I don't care if you only give them to your friends or you only give them to ones in your home state because you want people to cache there, or you give them out because you're the first to find or whatever. But here's what I'm going to use my final thought saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to send out this question because this is the part that I don't understand.
Right.
If you found Infernal Device and you haven't favored it immediately, front of the line, send us an email. We want to ask you questions. But let's say if you haven't found Infernal Device, you know what we're talking about. think of like the most awesome cache you found. Think of something that you would call an awesome cache. I want people to send us in and tell us, why would you not? Is there a reason? Think of a reason why you would not favorite something that's basically an awesome cache. Like you don't like the owner. You're mad about this or that. What is that reason? Something that's way beyond the norm. Why have you or would you not favorite it? Because there has to be a reason, like on a cache like this, because we see it all the time. These awesome caches and like 10% of them never favorite it. There has to be a reason that people know of out there that people are not favoriting these really spectacular caches, right? Like maybe they were mad because there was a parking fee. You know, there's got to be something. There's not on that one, but there's other ones we've talked about, right?
Yeah.
That's for this whole thing, because favorite points draw people there. Have you ever not favorited one that you think everybody favorites, or like what's the exception when you have an exceptional cache but do not favorite it? Because there has to be something. If 10% of people are not favoriting it.
So here's somebody's in. I'll give my finals in a second, and then Brian, you start thinking about your final comments. But this person, Disgruntled Wheat, he says he gives favorite points to underappreciated caches, never the most favorited. They already have enough already, is what he's saying, which is a fascinating way.
That's legit, though. I'm sorry, but that's a legit reason too.
I guess.
So
I don't.
Here's an example. Let's say you have a WV10 style guy.
Well, that's saying he wouldn't give one to Infernal Device because it's got plenty. No big deal. See?
That's so hard. It's so hard because, first of all, Disgruntled Wheat's an awesome name. Second of all,
Mingo,
like
whatever.
you're trying to draw people to an area and there's a bunch of awesome caches, but you've only got so many to give, and you want to kind of spread them out from some of the awesome caches in the area.
Yes.
That kind of makes sense. But now, totally like, I don't favorite any point that's got any cache that got over 500 points. That's a little hard line. That's a little rough for me. You know, like it's already got enough. It doesn't need more. Who needs more than 500 points? You know, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. But again, if that's somebody's policy, man, you go for it. I ain't gonna tell them how to do it.
Oh my God.
Even if I think they're stupid, I'm not gonna tell them.
Yeah. I don't. It's not like you've got one. You're like, I can only
you
give
have zero,
one.
Dude. You only have 4. So what are you
I got
talking
4
about?
left.
Like
Well, I've given out 700 and whatever I've given out. Something.
So
like
I
that.
hope the next 4 caches you find all suck.
Well, probably, because then I'll get
14. The next 14, because then you'll get another favorite point.
Yeah, I'll get every favorite point. That's what I'm saying. You get one every 10. So why would I not? That's the thing. It's okay. I've got to go away now. I'm done. I can't. I've got to end the show. I'm disgusted.
Yeah. Hold on. I got to add something to yours though, because you're still messing up the split there. Are favorite points for the cache owner or for other cachers?
Right. Which I saw some people saying they give it for the cache owner.
Yeah. I
do both, but it's got to be good. If it's not good, I'm not giving a favorite point. I don't care who they are. Even if it's Audie, even if it's Brent, I love Brent to death. And obviously, Infernal Device has to be good. Direwolf Cash Page says this is my 6-year-old's first hide. No, screw that.
I'm a sucker. I'd straight up be favorite point in that one. I'd be like, oh my God, so
there's
cool.
No way. No, I don't care if it's your 6-month-old.
I would favorite it if it was in a Sprite bottle. I would still think it's awesome that he's got his kid out there cashing with him. You get a favorite point.
Not a favorite point.
All right, so I got a couple quick things. Right. I know we're getting to the end of the show.
Go ahead. That's my final thought. Is I'm disgusted with all of y'all. Go ahead, Brian.
So I found you can have this cache when you can pry it from my cold dead up in Northwest. Right. Up I can't remember if it was Oregon or Washington. Had 100% favorite points. I would be scared to death to be the first person to go, you know what? It has enough. I'm not going to give my favorite point so that it drops down to 99. I mean, you think about stuff like that. That's just one of the thoughts that pops through my head is,
okay,
why are you one of the ones that dropped it and let it drop that low? My other thought is, who are you, Gary? That's awesome.
I give out favorite points like water. I just don't understand why you would give out why you don't or why you do sometimes baffles me. So go ahead.
Now the final thing is your whole point of the show was, is it a Siren song or a treasure map?
Right.
I think if you make favorite points the treasure map, you're failing. You have to make that one, like Jesse said, he has a whole list of things that he goes through to make sure. I check percentages. I check the Wilson score on Project GC. I check all of these things to go, is this really going to be worth the time that, I only have so long in Oklahoma. Is it going to be worth my time to go out and find this? So I look at a lot of things to make the treasure map and avoid the sirens. So I think that's important for cachers to recognize when they're going out. So
no, that's good.
To one more second, I know we're so over time, but kind of
we'll
I don't want to spur off into a whole nother show, so I'm gonna.
It's okay. We'll do this again.
I'm just gonna agree with him now because there's so much I want to say. I just can't.
This is a good discussion.
Yeah.
You're done then?
Yeah, I'm not. I can't. It's a whole nother show. I can't. You got to cut me off. I got to cut off. I'm done. I'm done. Right. No more final thoughts.
Yeah. I want to give favorite points, and I do give a lot of favorite points, but some of y'all's arguments are just whack. I just don't understand. Which is fine because it goes back to what Jesse said. If you don't, they're your favorite points. You do what you want with them. I mean, but you are right, Brian. You have to look at them with some caution. Although I fall for it, man. If something's got 100 favorite points, I'm going. I don't care. I just assume that it's good.
See,
you don't do that.
You're killing me. No. That should be like the fifth thing you look at. First of all, it depends on how you cache, but the way I cache, I don't even get to favorite points till like the fifth pass through. Really,
Oh gosh, no. That's the first thing I look at.
Casmer, old caches, so many more things have higher value to me than it's got 100 favorite points. I don't care. It ain't gonna. All these things are more important to me than that. Now fifth, I'm gonna go. I have nothing else to look for in this area of high value for me. So fifth, there's a cache with 8 million favorite points a mile from me. Let's go get that one. But that's like so far down it's just so far down the path. But again, I don't give out favorite points. Me and Gary are raised different. I don't just give mine out to everybody. They have to earn it.
I'll give you a favorite point. I'll go give a favorite point just almost for no reason whatsoever, just because I like it. So
there's a word for people like you, Gary, but this is a family show. So let's move on.
I know. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll have more shows going forward. We'll do this again someday because I know it's a fun thing. So, Brian, thank you so much for being on tonight. Appreciate you being with us, my friend. And we'll leave it at that, and we'll say good night. So, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hi, guys.
May your finds be many, and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.